Wow, what's good, family? It's me, Coach 67 Sports TV. Shout out to the General, 7A Sports TV, and the entire LDBC, Lions Den boxing community. Shout out to the Louisiana All-American Sports Network. Last, but definitely not least, shout out to the greatest university in the world, East Southern University, home of the mighty Jaguars. Today is game day for me. You know, the team I coach, we have a game, later on this evening. The head coach, he's getting everything straight for pregame. So I had an opportunity prior to the game, and I snuck off just to do a real quick video for my LDBC family members that's into the sport of boxing like me. I just want to drop a real quick video, and in this particular video, I'm gonna talk about Canelo. Just like this past Saturday, some of my LDBC brethren and I was checking out the fight. The previous Saturday, we also was checking out the fight with Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Edward Berlanga. And, I couldn't give the fight my full undivided attention at the time because my Jags was catching a beat down from the Jackson State Tigers in the Boombox Classic. So, I was kind of, flipping back and forth. I would catch certain fights on the undercard. I was able to catch Caleb Plant and Arizona Laura, this, that, and the third. So, I was tuning in and out and, just watching Berlanga and Canelo. At a certain point, I'm not gonna lie, I just was disinterested in the fight. The reason being is because, at the end of the day, I'm not a huge fan of Canelo. I think fighters like Canelo, Anthony Joshua, Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, I think these fighters was wrong with the sport of boxing today. They are not willing to fight the best possible competition they can fight. They're not looking for all the smoke like my favorite fighters like Deontay Wilder and Devin Haney and Errol Spence. At the end of the day, they're looking to make the most money they possibly could without fighting the best possible competition they could. So they're looking to make the biggest bag without really fighting anybody. And I kind of blame Floyd Mayweather Jr. for that because, don't get me wrong, I know you had the pretty boy Floyd version of Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s career, and then you had the Money Mayweather phase of his career, and then the Money Mayweather phase of his career, Floyd just looked to fight the biggest fights he could fight in terms of just making the biggest money. He was more a money fighter than he was more so worried about fighting the best possible competition. So that's why he maybe didn't fight fighters like, Paul the Punisher Williams or Winky Wright or whoever. I felt like that was, I could go down and basically name a long list of fighters, but in my opinion, those are two fighters that Floyd could have fought and he didn't fight, in that Money Mayweather phase of his career. But back to Canelo, in my opinion, I still feel to this day, the reason why I'm not really interested in none of Canelo fights, because he has ducked David Benavidez like the plague. He has avoided this man for, I'd say, about 5 years at this point. Now, I'm not gonna lie, at one point in David Benavidez's career, I was real critical of him, for losing his belt twice, once on the scale, and once doing extracurricular drug usage. But even with that being said, he's no longer using illicit drugs. He's been making weight, and he's done what he's supposed to do in terms of getting that Canelo fight. And Canelo is just ducking him like he owes him money. And in all actuality, Canelo doesn't win money, in my opinion, because you fail to fight this man when this is going to be the biggest fight of his career, and you really can't beat him. That's why you're ducking him. And truthfully speaking, I felt like, and I still feel to this day, Canelo is grossly overrated. I think he's been overrated his whole career. And don't get me wrong, he's had wins that I was really thoroughly impressed by. Like, for example, when he beat James Kirkland, I was thoroughly impressed with that win, even though James Kirkland didn't have Ann Wolf in his corner for that fight, I was impressed by that win. But if you look at Canelo's whole career, in my opinion, I felt like he was built by Floyd Mayweather Jr. in terms of putting Floyd put him on all his undercards just to build towards a fight with him. And in a fight with Floyd, Floyd wasn't in his prime. He was in the twilight of his career, but he whitewashed Canelo. In my opinion, I really didn't give Canelo one round, but yet on the scorecards, Canelo got a split decision. And of course, you listen to people like Skip Bayless, they made it seem like Floyd ran the whole fight. Floyd stood right in front of Canelo and made him miss and beat him to the punch the whole night. I didn't give Canelo one round, but Canelo still got a split decision. And then once, Floyd was no longer in the sport, essentially Canelo was anointed to be like the new Golden Goose, like the new Oscar De La Hoya. And he's just kind of been a hype job most of his career to me. I felt like Erislandy Lara beat him. I felt like he got a gift decision in that fight. He ducked when he was at junior middleweight. He ducked both Charlo brothers when he was supposed to fight the two of them. And he also ducked Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. And even when he moved up to middleweight, he ducked Jamal Charlo and he ducked Demetrius Andrade. And really outside of, the fight with Floyd, outside of his fight with Lara, maybe James Kirkland, Caleb Plant, in all actuality, I feel like, his whole career, he's kind of been overrated for the vast majority of it. That win against Sergey Crusher Kovalev. I'm not gonna lie, I thought Kovalev threw the fight, but even if he didn't throw the fight, he was washed. He wasn't the guy that Andre Ward beat. And more than anything, he just avoided, David Benavidez. He's been avoiding him for years. And truthfully speaking, even him fighting Dimitri Bivol, he thought Dimitri Bivol was sweet. And so instead of fighting Artur Beterbiev, because to me it's crazy that nobody ever really pushed for the Beterbiev-Bivol undisputed fight. The reason why he chose Bivol, because he felt Dimitri Bivol was a lighter touch, and he felt like he was sweet. He felt like he could win that fight. That's the reason why he chose him. And of course, it was a cherry pick gone wrong. Bivol beat him. And when it comes to the super middleweight division, he really didn't move up into that division until he didn't push for undisputed in that division until Benavidez, lost that belt. And then, of course, he moved up. He got all the belts. He undisputed. And at the end of the day, I feel like if Canelo if he actually fights David Benavidez and he beats him, and he also beats the winner of Beterbiev-Bivol, then I'm not gonna lie, I'll give him all the credit that people think he deserves. But until then, I feel like he's overrated. He's a hype job. He has avoided Benavidez for years at this point, and most of his career. Just think about it. He didn't win undisputed at junior middleweight. He didn't win undisputed at middleweight. In fact, people talk about the email champions with Devin Haney, but the only reason why Jamal Charlo became an email champ is because Canelo ducked him. So at the end of the day, let's quit acting like Canelo doesn't have to do anything. He could just fight an endless string of C-level fighters because he's earned that right. In my opinion, he hasn't earned anything. And that's the problem I have with him. All of his fangirls, they come to his defense. They make it seem like he's done so much. He doesn't have to fight anybody, and he's earned the right to cherry pick the rest of his career. And that's bull crap. I don't think he's. If anything, in all actuality, he really didn't want to fight Triple G, but his fan base really was calling for that fight. So at the end of the day, I feel like Canelo was overrated, and I would give him his actual credit if he was to just grow a pair of testicles and fought David Benavidez. Even if he didn't beat Benavidez, I would give him credit for that fight. But I would give him all the credit in the world if he was to beat Benavidez and then move up and beat the winner of Beterbiev Bivol. Man, I'll give him his props, his credit. But in my eyes, he can never be compared to Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., Eric Morales, Oscar De La Hoya, Fernando Vargas. He can't be considered in that pantheon of fighters until he actually fights the best possible competition. But for me, that's it for this video. If you found any value in this video, like the video, share the video, comment in the comment section, subscribe to the channel, also click the notification bell so you can be alerted anytime I post any new videos. Go check out my brother Jared Love and Green on his channel. Every Sunday we do a show called the Southern Baller Show. Also go check out my brother Brent Fox on his channel, where he has his own show called It's Just Me Starring Brent Fox. And lastly, go check out my brother Supreme Beast Boxing Talk Cadillac Red, him and the Usual Suspects. And every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 Central Standard Time, we do the Coach's Playbook, Cadillac Red, 503 Lion, and myself. I'll catch y'all on the rebound. Y'all have a blessed, phenomenal evening. Peace and blessings.